because when I came home after 8 years, I paroled out to my brother's walk in closet.
I still got 3 years of parole left.
When I say stay positive, you say people. Stay positive, people. Stay positive, people.
Hello, look who I have with me. It is Chuck Doyle,
What's
aka
that,
Coffee
people?
Cup Chuck. Let me tell you, he is the poster child of From Felon to Fabulous. Absolutely. You know, some of you hear a story because he's got this phenomenal blog and these writings that he puts out. But I've got to witness the change. I've got to witness the personality that's big, that loves, and you've kind of put your past to rest.
Yeah.
You really have. Talk to us about your past before we get into what you're doing now.
Well, you know, we all have a past.
We do.
Some of us have cookie cut past, and some of us have razor cut past. Mine was a little choppy.
Oh, you might have had even more than a razor. I bet you had a couple stab wounds.
Yeah,
Deep.
and a couple of gunshots and
Mhm.
all kind of stuff. No, you know, I started out with a single parent,
Mhm.
and that grew into not having good guidance. So that guidance, I had to get it from somewhere, and the streets were pretty exciting.
I bet they were.
Yeah.
But you were like 12, 13 when you started running the streets.
No, I was like 9.
Ooh.
And, you know, we were unaccounted for a lot of that time until the street lights came on. And we had a whole giant neighborhood to run. I mean, I'd say it was like 10 blocks each way.
Mm-hmm.
And we could be anywhere. We can be over in the next neighborhood. Our parents really didn't know, but it was a lot to get into. And a lot of the stuff that you can get into when you're that young, you don't have money to pay for the centers to go to. So you take it to the streets, and the streets are ugly when there's no guidance.
This is true. They're
And
very ugly. And you have to survive in them.
yeah, and that's what I did. And in order to survive in them, you gotta click. You gotta go where the protection is, where there's numbers. And I was a gang member. I grew up as a gang member, and though being in a gang, even though it was like a home that you could, a big family that you can call home and protectors, man, you got into a lot of trouble. And I was doing crimes at 10 and 11 years old that adults normally would do, like breaking into stuff and burglarizing stuff. And I didn't know, it was just second nature because that's how we made
That's what you were
money.
supposed to do.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what everybody
Mhm.
around me was doing. So I grew up on the wrong side. And guess what? You know what happens when you commit crimes? There's consequences when you get caught.
Mm.
My consequences, on the other hand, weren't the easiest consequences for a child to be thrown into, because I surpassed all of the juvie centers and stuff like that. I think I hit a juvie once, and it was just for a couple of days. And after that, you think you're going to hit juvie anytime you do a juvie crime. But at 14, nah. At the time when I was committing these crimes, they were passing that crime bill. And that crime bill said anybody committing crimes in these neighborhoods, there's going to be very severe consequences. And those consequences took me to prison.
Yeah, not juvenile detention.
Yeah, I
And you
passed
were
that.
what, 15?
Yeah, no, I was 14 when I caught the case. So I was in the juvenile detention center holding, and then they decided that they were going to put it up to adult court. And it went to adult court, and they took me out of that juvenile detention environment and placed me in more of a middle environment. And they said, we're trying you as an adult, and if you're found guilty, you are going to prison. And I was 14. Now, I turned 15 while I was in the process of fighting the case, and that led me to prison, sentenced and convicted and sentenced at 15, which I couldn't even get in population till I was 16. So I literally, for like 8 months, I was in a holding cell. 1 hour a day is all I got to come out of that cell. And they had me protected up till I turned 16. And after that,
Out you went.
right? And I watched it all. Anything that you would think horrors, I got to see that at a very young age. So,
But you still didn't learn your lesson.
no. Well, because you look at it like this, you think you're going to put a kid into an environment like that and you're going to scare them straight, but there's going to be advocates for the kid. That kid's probably going to be protected at some cost. And while he's being protected, what are those individuals putting into him? Are they putting in good stuff, or are they putting in bad stuff, or are they putting in both? On my situation it was a little bit of both, because I had people in there that didn't believe I should have been in there, and they were telling me, young blood, you got to do it right, you got to do the right thing. And then I had people saying, man, you young and you already in this environment, you cut for this, you can. Yeah, they were like
Encouraging it.
yeah, they were like, you can, this ain't nothing will hurt you now, you can get out there and you can run. And that's what I did. I got out on the street. And when you don't have all of this influence out here floating around for you to involve yourself in, it's more negative. So already low on belief, my belief system already shut down. It just put me in more of a negative mindset. So anything that was easy, anything that everyone else was doing, anything that I had already created a pattern for, I just went with. And it was always things that would put me back in the system. So
how much time in and out?
So I went when I was 14, got out 17. I think I went back when I was 19, got out when I was 22. Went back in when I was like 25. I did 3 state sentences and then a federal. And the federal one, I was so out of whack that I was it. I was like, no, I got to do something, But the federal one was the one it really let me know, because it was the first time everyone alienated me. It was the first time everyone, like,
you got alienated,
pounded on. People love you, and then when you're in that position, and they hate you. And I went through that period, and when I went through that period, it really let me know what are you doing for yourself? What are you doing with your life? But you're doing time. So you don't know how you're going to react when you get back out on the street. So I kept doing my time. And as I was doing the time, things kept happening. I got into an incident that I've spoken with you about before, about a gentleman losing his whole family.
Right.
To an incident where they were coming to visit this man, and they were coming to visit him, and they all died in an accident that could have been prevented,
right,
if he wasn't in jail. So now this is on me again. Like, man, that could have been me. What would have happened if the shoe was on the other foot? That man, it broke his spirit so much, we never seen him again. And crazy thing about it, this man, that family of his, they were putting into him. They were like feeding him books and positive books, because I ended up with one of his books, Think and Grow Rich. So it's not a coincidence that this book is the book that has pretty much helped me.
And you read a lot of books.
Yes, but that one was the one that led me to them all. So
now there's two different Think and Grow Riches.
Yes.
So there's the original one that was done many decades ago.
Yeah.
And then there's one that was written by a black guy. Which one did you read?
Napoleon Hill.
Napoleon Hill. That's what it was written decades ago.
Right.
Yes.
And that was the one that came from his Secrets to Success.
Yes. Seven Habits of something like that.
I love that book.
Yes.
And that
you did Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yes. And it led me to Andrew Carnegie's The Seven Habits of Highly Successful People.
Yes.
Yes. And like you said, I love reading books. But that's what I did with this time. It was, you got to do something.
But you had to do something other than read them.
Well, you had to come to a point in your life where you make a decision to change. And it's something that you have to do. No matter if you're changing for the best, for the worse, or for the better, you're changing anyway. So why not change? People say, well, how do you do it? I get people say it all the time. How did you change? How do you do it? Well, you know the saying, it's insanity if you continuously do the same thing over and over again and it's not working for you.
That's right. And you're still thinking you're going to get the same results.
Yeah. And you're thinking that it's going
different results.
You're going to get this. Oh, it's going to work better this time. No, I got to a point where, Chuck, it's not working. You got to do something different. And the crazy thing about it is we avoid what's hard.
So your mindset started to change.
Oh, my mindset started shifting.
Yes.
It was shifting because you're still on the gate. It's shifting. It's like, oh man, but I got to a point where I leaped, and I took that leap of faith, because nothing over here worked. My mindset was so fixed. And your friends are over here doing this. Your parents and your family members are leaning on over here. And it's like, no one's over here that you know or what you're used to. So it's hard wanting to change. 007, I got to that point where it didn't matter. My mindset shifted. It went literally, I'm done over here.
At a necessity.
Yes.
Well, I mean, technically you didn't have to. You could have went back and been in and out for the rest of your life.
Right.
But out of necessity, because you wanted the change.
Yeah.
You made the choice to do so.
It's totally a decision.
So now you get out. Now what? So you've made the decision you're going to change. You've read all these books. You have applied this to your way of thinking. But now the real life is happening again. How hard was it to find a job?
Well, to me, it wasn't really hard because I was persistent. And, I've always had a likable personality. So a lot of people have always liked me, but it's not hard getting a job. It's hard elevating from the job or getting that job, that perfect job. And, you have so many stains on your life. It's hard for anyone to want to take the risk. So you got to start
yourself
and
too.
I started off at Bob Evans as a dishwasher. And I love this story because it's so real. It's so real to a lot of us. We all start off small, and Some people say, oh, it's just a dishwasher job, but that wasn't me, and it normally would be. But you remember, you change your mindset. You don't just change your mindset just for this moment. You change your mindset completely. And I did it. And that complete change led me to, no matter what I did, I stayed in that side of the mind, that growth. How do you grow? You got to do better than what you did the day before. And I became the best dishwasher that Bob Evans had. I became such a good dishwasher that they ended up letting the other dishwasher position go, giving me a couple dollars more just to do both of them. And, I
made you feel good.
Yeah, it made me feel good, but
still wasn't enough.
Well, it was because I told myself, if I'm going to be a dishwasher, I'm going to be the best damn dishwasher they ever had. And I'll be damned if I did. And
it didn't stop there.
No, it didn't, because with me being that better dishwasher, being in that position, being there at that time, a guy came in to fix one of the grills, and this guy was an electrician, and that's what I was really. I was an electrician. I did a lot of years doing electrical work. I wasn't a journeyman electrician, but I had worked in the electrical field for many, many years already. So it led me to ask him, hey, who do you work for? Are they hiring? And he's like, oh, I work for a temp service, but I'm working through temp for this electrical company. And I'm like, wow, you could do that. I didn't know. You
started thinking about something different.
It just keeps leading. And I can go on all day explaining how putting yourself in the right position, because you're in the right side of your brain, always leads you to better opportunities. Because that job led me to a temp service, and that temp service, they put me on one job, one location, the first location this temp service put me on. It was Watker Electric, and I was just a temp there. And I told myself again, they had me as a run boy, just running parts, because I didn't really, I did electrical work, but I never did this type of level of electrical work. It was service work. I said, I'm going to be the best damn runner this job had. 30 days later, this company is hiring me on.
So now you are an employee.
Yes.
Not a temp.
Yes.
And you are a full-fledged electrician.
And it keeps going. And wanted to be better.
To temp to employee of an electrical company.
And then I went work for a couple other electrical companies, which led me to owning my own electrical lighting company. And it's because you strive. You stop taking the easy way, because this road looks easy. Everyone looks at me right now and they say, the first thing that kind of crushes me a little when they say, you're lucky. It's like, no, there's nothing luck about this. It's putting in the work. You have to want to change. Then you have to change, because just because you want to do something don't mean you do it. You got to want to change.
And the actions are the completely different things. Yes.
So you got to want to change, and then you got to change. And then when you change, you just can't change and then just make, I'm going to change today and I'm going to change tomorrow.
No, it's a lifelong process.
You got to commit to it.
Yes, it is.
And when you commit, it becomes a habit. And habits, man, habits are good habits and bad habits. You replace a bad habit every day for a good habit, and a year from now, you're that new person that you've been trying to get to,
Just like replacing the apple for the bag of chips.
Yep. Yeah. It's easy. So change, man. Nothing's going to happen unless you change what you don't like to something that you do. Oh, I don't like my job. Whose fault is that?
But you even take it a little step further than that. So you did many years in and out. You did 3 state runs and then a federal run. So you've been in 4 times.
Yep.
You were running with gangs. I'm assuming there was drugs involved. I'm assuming there was probably some drug use.
Yeah.
Everything that goes with this lifestyle. You come out your last bid and you say, no more. I'm done with that. So you take a low job, low totem pole job, low paying job, probably the lowest position that you could probably find. And you said, I'm going to do the best at it. And you did. And then they moved you up from there. And then an electrician came in, you got hired with the temp service, and then you went on to become full-fledged. and then you started your own company. That's a lot of odds to beat.
Yeah, I know.
But then you've taken it even a step further. You've got this little movement going on,
Stay positive movement.
and you're teaching people to change their mindset. Not only are you teaching them to change their mindset, you're teaching them to move forward in a positive direction, and you're teaching them to do something for themselves.
Yes.
Talk about that.
So, Coffee Cup Chuck.
Mm-hmm.
He was born out of issues that I myself had. You know, a lot of the issues that we have, when we solve those issues within ourselves, we tend to keep it to ourselves. I will wake up every morning, 4:30 in the morning for no reason, just up early in the morning for no reason, with nothing to do but just think inside of my head, think. And it gets crazy. It just starts driving you crazy after a while. So you have to figure out what you want to do with it. So I did what anybody who was a believer would do. I asked God, what do you want me to do? Because apparently you got me up for a reason.
And he does that, doesn't he?
Man.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, you figure it's not you that's waking up. It's something that's waking you up. And it's got to be
during the day, you're not listening.
Yeah,
you're too busy.
It's just too much noise.
Mm-hmm.
So I started getting up and I asked him, what do you want me to do? And he said, write. I want you to write. And I want you to write about what you need to fix with yourself. You got a lot of stuff you need to fix. And I need you to start writing about it. Because as long as you're writing about it, you're taking the stuff out of your head and you're putting it down on something. So I listen. A long time ago, I wouldn't listen to no one. But last 10 years, I've turned that over and I've been listening. So I listened and I started writing. And those messages were some deep messages. These messages were so deep. Some of these messages would lead me to cry. I would tear up real bad. And then after a couple of weeks, I say about, I think like the 14th or 15th one I wrote, I said, man, people need to see these. People need to hear these.
They needed to be able to apply it to their own lives, because if you were going through it, somebody else was too.
And I noticed
everybody's going through something.
Yes. And I just noticed that just reflecting those back on me, it was helping me. It was giving me oh man, I really forgot and I'm like, thank you, God, because these messages ain't coming from this brain. They're being put into this brain. So someone's talking to me, telling me what I need to do. And, of course, the reflection, if my social responsibility is not to hold something like that in, it's to put it out. So I started putting it out, and there was no Coffee Cup Chuck. This was just me putting them out.
Mm-hmm.
And I needed a way to put them out, because people it's like clickbait. No one wants to stop on just a dry post and read it. So you got to give them some reason to read it. What do you think I did? What's up, God? What do I need to do? And he said, well, why are you asking me? Do what you normally do every morning.
Yeah.
You get up and you get you a cup of coffee before you get anything else going. And that was it. Everyone gets up and gets some sort of drink, even if it ain't coffee. If it's tea, if it's coffee, if it's that Red Bull or whatever it is, everyone gets up and they get that drink. And during that process, so I wanted to kind of like make these feel like it was that go-to, that thing that you needed when you got up.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing it. I started buying cups from Walmart and Dollar Tree and with messages on them. And then I begged my wife, I need your help. I know you're cricket queen and you're doing all of this stuff. I need your help here. And, at first it was an easy thing, but our system was so jacked up that we were always frustrated with her creating these cups. But we found the rhythm and God made it a way. And wow, the remarkable outcome of me just putting an image on the front of a cup and writing about that image, it empowered a lot of people. And I started getting those inboxes everywhere from all over, man. And I remember the very first one I got, it was like, no one was following me. No one was liking the post. It was like 1 or 2 people. And this person that didn't even never like a post, didn't ever even, he said, thank you for that message last week, bro. You put a message out last week. And
he needed it.
Yes. So it sparked me, and it made me keep doing it and keep going and keep going. And it's crazy because throughout my life, little things like that have happened that sparked me to want to be happier, make people smile, make people laugh more, bring the quality of somebody out before you just say, hey, my name's Chuck, just say their name, because a lot of people feel important when you just know their name. So, but it's just that message came and he said that, and it just, man, that was the first of all of the ones. And then they started flooding in, and I started realizing, just because you don't get likes, just because people don't share your post, just because people don't acknowledge that they stopped through to see what you had to say or what you had to offer,
doesn't mean they're not looking.
Doesn't mean that they're not looking.
So you went from Chuck Doyle to Coffee Cup Chuck.
Coffee Cup Chuck.
Yeah.
Thank God I'd had a conversation with him about that, because he gave me when I know I sound funny to people saying having this conversation with God, but
that's their problem.
Yeah, we all have the conversations with him, even if we don't want to admit it or not. But I'm like, God, I need a name, because Chuck Doyle is just not enough. And this the coffee dog, and I didn't came up with all these names, and he said Coffee Cup Chuck, and I'm like, man, that's corny. I'm a big brother.
Sometimes so corny is what's needed.
Yeah, the only thing I know is he said, say it 3 times. He just said, and some just say, something was like, just say it 3 times, say it 3 times. And I just, Coffee Cup Chuck, Coffee Cup Chuck, Coffee Cup Chuck. And to me, it sounded like a chant. And that chant is something that catches people. So I said, I'm going to give it a shot. And I did. And everywhere I go now, it's like, which one am I going to get? Am I going to get, hey, this is Coffee Cup Chuck, or hey, this is Chuck Doyle? And most of the time is me hidden behind Coffee Cup Chuck. So,
and that's okay. It's your stage name.
Okay. Yes.
Because now you're speaking.
Yes.
You used to do some rapping back in your younger years, and now you're writing songs about mindset shifts.
Your fault.
Nah.
That was your fault. And it really was, because I was scared. And you brought that out of me. You basically said, listen, this is something you're good at. So I was scared because I felt that it would trigger me. It would trigger that old life again. And you said, let it be the guide to your new life. And, that's right. And now it's working.
Because if it was a trigger to the old life, then you still had some more change in it.
Yes. And got to go into the forest with the fight, not to lose. You got to go for the fight.
That's right.
And it's helping people. Just the songs, just a couple that I've already written are helping people. I have a guy that listens to one of those songs. He has it on speed up every day. He wakes up and the first thing he listens to is that song. And it's not a black guy. It's a Caucasian male that doesn't even listen to rap music.
But it's not, I mean, it is rap, but it really isn't storytelling.
Yes.
It's storytelling. To the point you've spoken in churches. You've spoken on becoming the best you. You're getting out there because people are seeing the changed Chuck, not the felon, not the hoodlum, not the drug addict, not the gang member, not the person that did all these things. They're seeing Chuck.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
It feels good. It feels, you don't have to look over your shoulder. And it feels like relieving to know that when people see you, they don't cringe, instead of cringing, they're open arms.
They want to see you.
They light up.
Yes. They embrace the new thing. And, when I was first out of prison, I felt that I needed to hide. I was embarrassed. I was shameful. I felt I was never going to be good enough again, that I'd lost everything. And that wasn't true. And it's not true about any of you guys out there. And that is what this show is about, is showing that there is hope. You do not have to live your life in that bubble of being a felon. That's just a title. but you are a person and you are worth so much more. So for those of you who don't think you have a life because of that, or you're in the dishwasher stage, that's okay, because it's better to be in that dishwasher stage, living a better life, a life without crime, getting quality friends, than the life that you had before. And now, I mean, I have witnessed this guy on the stage. I have witnessed him going from not speaking to speaking. I've witnessed him from not singing to singing. And I've witnessed the struggle. But you still stepped up and you said, okay. What would you tell them?
I would first say, you got to take all of that bad stuff that you're carrying with you and you got to unpack it. You first got to unpack it. You got to get rid of all of it, because you can't make room for the new stuff if you don't get rid of that old stuff. You got to get yourself a new set of friends too. If those people around you, if that community around you is not pushing you in a forward motion, if it's not driving you to be better, you got to get yourself in a community that's going to do better for you. Because one of the biggest things I've been able to do is put myself in a better community, put myself in a better situation where the people around me are helping me become this better person. Because a lot of times you can't do it by yourself. So don't give up, believe in yourself, and no matter what, keep moving forward.
And ask for help.
Ask for
If
help.
you need the help, ask for it. And let me tell you, now listen up. Sometimes your family is not the ones that's going to help you. Now, I had a great family, but even within that family support, sometimes it's negative. And sometimes it's not negative because they don't want to see you succeed. They're afraid to see you fail again. So keep that in mind when you're sharing things with them. But there are also those that don't want to see you succeed, even family members. They want to see you fail so they can say, see, I said that she wasn't any good. She's just going to go right back. Look at him. That was all an act. Don't be that person. Prove them wrong. And sometimes it's okay to not share your hopes and dreams with somebody. It's better to let them see them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them see that you've done it. Let them see that you can do it. That's what Chuck's doing. And let me tell you, you probably have in the beginning of your marriage. So you got married when you got out.
Yeah.
You've been married how long now?
It's going on 11 years.
And I've even seen
No,
a
it's
change.
after. We've been married 11 years, going on 12 years.
I've even seen a change in the relationship with your wife. In the beginning, she was not sure. Not that she wasn't supporting you, because she was doing your cup. She was trying to be very supportive, but that maybe not.
It's a waste of time.
Now she gets in the car and goes with you.
Yeah.
She's traveled cross country twice with us.
Yep. And one time without me even knowing the reason why.
That's right.
Yeah. So she is the biggest supporter.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, you got to put the right people in your corner. You got to get the
Mm-hmm.
right people around you. If the person that you're with isn't pushing you and isn't driving you, you got to figure out why,
Mm-hmm.
and you can't let that stop you, because I got that support. Oh, when you say traveling, when you say difference in
Mm-hmm.
her, big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. But like I said, it all starts with wanting to change.
It does. And sometimes you have to change your environment. And I'm not saying move. Sometimes you have to move. Sometimes you do have to move. But your environment is your scenery. Your environment scenery is the people you hang around. The people that you go to need to be your supporters. They need to be true friends. And let me say, a true friend isn't somebody who's going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. And that's the relationship you and I have.
Yes.
We bounce some crazy stuff off of each other. And I think I said, what the heck are you doing? Or go for it.
Yep.
How can I help you? Those are the ones that you need.
And before we get off of that, another thing why you have to get out of another thing that's in that environment that sometimes traps us is the opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
If there's no opportunities in that environment, you might have good friends, you might have a great, but if the opportunities aren't providing you what you need to get where you want to go, you gotta move around.
And you create your own opportunities by the people that you hang around. Would you have ever in February, you shared the stage with 2 millionaires?
Yes.
But
where did I have to go to get that?
Well, you had to
I had
get
to
the
move out of the
experience. You had to get
environment.
out of the, and you had to get the experience to get on that stage.
Hmm.
But you had to get around people that were going to get you there,
Yeah.
not that were going to yank you off.
Yep.
But then in August, you shared the stage with 3 millionaires.
3.
But the millionaires aren't even the thing. It's the rest of the quality of the people that he's been able to show who he is and to share who he is. And it's a big difference between showing and sharing, because I can show you a lot of stuff, or I can share with you my knowledge and my experience to help you get to the next level. And that's what Chuck's doing. That's why he's created this Stay Positive People. You want to share a little bit of your song? I know I'm kind of putting you on the spot here.
No, no,
Get out
no.
that song.
It's cool. Before I forget this message, that I just want to say, for those out there who are inmates, who might be listening to this, or those who just stepped out of prison, you guys think that it's over. You guys get these these rap sheets, and it might be murder or robbery. It don't matter what it is. We have people in our environment, in our organization, that have been guilty of all of those atrocities, and they have been able to create better lives for themselves. And it's because of their ability to stay positive about their situation at all times. So yeah, I'll give them a little bit of I might even have the.
I want you guys to listen to this. He actually didn't say yes to this call at first. He said, no, you don't understand what my raps used to be about. You don't understand the life that I used. And I didn't understand, because my crimes were completely different. I grew up with a wonderful set of parents, both parents. Never really had a bad day that I didn't create myself, right? It wasn't because of my family environment, but I had a great childhood, but yet I still did some things I wasn't proud of. And I was living a life that I shouldn't have been living, and landed me in prison. He already knew he was probably going to go there. It was something that I would have never expected. So we are completely opposites, male, female. I went to prison in older years. He went early years. He's black, I'm white, totally different environments, but we mesh. And we support. And that is what From Felon to Fabulous is here for. We are here to help you. You need some coaching, we got that. You need some advice, we got that. We have positive shows of encouragement. Just come back and watch. This is the first of many. We have people that are here for you. We have a board. We have many things in place. We have speakers, coaches, classes, workshops. Go on over to FromFelonToFabulous.com and check it out, see what's in store. And wouldn't you say, Chuck, that your biggest accomplishment has probably been your new relationships?
By far. I remember a year and a half ago, I told myself that these cups, the messages, I wanted them to. These messages, I want them to go to a different level, to be able to put them on a different platform. And I got a lot of motivation. I got a lot of inspiration from people like Eric Thomas and Trenton Shelton, and of course the Tony Robbins and oh my God, I can't remember the big one. Terrence, the Unstoppable Lethbridge is
Les Brown.
I mean, listening to all of these guys, and it inspired me to continue to inspire other people. Well, these guys were all speakers, and I wanted to become a speaker. Something said, you can do this. I mean, you take the stage, and you've had rap songs that you've done in the past, and you've done all of this from a stage aspect. I know I could do this. So
he's looking for his beat.
Yeah, I'm still looking for it. And I'm like, wow, because I wasn't prepared for this, but I want to at least be able to give you guys an opportunity.
I have a habit of putting people on the spot.
Yeah, but I'm trying to figure out how. Maybe I know how to get it.
You got to hear it, because it's his life, but it's also the changed coffee cup Chuck. He is inspiring instead of tearing down. He is encouraging instead of exiting out. He is making things happen instead of taking the easy way out. He's taking the right road, the higher road. He is putting himself in situations to be blessed instead of being taken from. There are so many things that happen because it's your own doing. Did you hear me? It is your own doing. But it doesn't mean your life is over, and it doesn't mean that you cannot start to do better. It means that you can. And that's what From Felon to Fabulous is here for. We have got folks from all across the world involved in this, from all ages, all nationalities. So if there's something you think you've done that you can't overcome, let me tell you, we have some folks that have seen it. Where
Which
you
one
at
you
with that?
want?
Whatever you want.
Okay.
Got one?
Yep, got
I'm
one.
gonna turn it over to you. Actually, I'm just gonna. No, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So this song right here, I just want to give you a cap on it right quick. The song is a question, and the question is something that you should be asking yourself every day. Every day you get an opportunity to open those eyes and live another life. A lot of times we forget what we even want for ourselves. So hopefully this song will give you an opportunity to figure that question out. Hey, how you doing, Ann?
Go ahead.
All right, here we go. Yeah. Check this out, y'all. 168 hours in a week, 56 of it spent on sleep, 40 more of it spent at the gig. Gotta work if you want to live now. Subtract the 56 and 40 from 168, and that'll leave you 72 hours to plan and create. But you see, we're so distracted that it all goes to waste. That procrastinating and feared and really slowed your pace. You think tomorrow's promised just because you see the day. You think tomorrow's promised so the time just ticks away. And then there's those excuses that we make to justify why we're so stationary. But see, it's just a lie, just to cover up, to butter up your reason why. Something we tell ourselves so we don't even have to try. What are you really doing? Gotta get your head up out of the sand. Who are you really fooling? You don't even think you can. No matter what's going on in that head of yours, just know that you're special and part of God's plan. But I want to know, what are you doing for yourself? Are you just getting old? Is your talents going to waste? You ain't trying to grow? What are you doing for yourself? Still running in place? See, you ain't going nowhere because you're stuck at first base, worried about what they gonna say, scared of the failure you'll face. But it won't matter anyway if you don't even try to be great. Go and embrace those mistakes. It's really good for your health, which leads me back to the question, what are you doing for yourself? The opinion of others, we all gotta love them. In those excuses, we all use plenty of them. But you see, those very same excuses, they all come a dime a dozen. And when you think about it, people, those excuses, they leave you nothing. So what are you doing for yourself? Are you just gonna try? And when you fail, then you ain't gonna try. What are you doing for yourself? You just gonna let time fly out here procrastinating and putting it off till your life goes by. You got this opportunity of a lifetime and you just gonna abuse it. You got the power to create anything and you ain't gonna use it. Is it the fear that's really holding you back? Is that why you won't do it? Is it those family members and friends? If so, I kind of knew it, but Pete, this is your dream. God didn't give it to me. So you see, you can't expect other people to see what you see. So just believe in yourself a little bit. It'll set your mind free. And that's how you start being the best you can be. But I want to know, what are you doing for yourself? Are you just getting old? Is your talents going to waste? You ain't trying to grow? What are you doing for yourself? Still running in place? See, you ain't going nowhere because you're stuck at first base, worried about what they gonna say, scared of the failure you'll face. But it won't matter anyway if you don't even try to be great. Go on and embrace those mistakes. It's really good for your health, which leads me back to the question, what are you doing for yourself? It's your boy, Coffee Cup Chuck. And thank you for joining us for another episode of From Felon to Fabulous with my 007 over here.
Stay tuned for more wonderful, encouraging, life-changing episodes.
Stay positive, people.
Or do you want to be the person that helps, that soothes, that loves, because you can still stand tall and be as big as you want to be when you are this person.